Hello everybody, hello, General here today, and we're for another episode of how to make the it's a interesting name, stripped crimson wood. So how do we do that, guys? Well, first of all, we're going to be needing crimson wood, right? But crimson wood is very interesting because it's not just something you just find anywhere. Really, it's like a special type of wood. So basically, where you can find this wood is not exactly in our realm or in our dimension, but it's actually something that you find in the nether realm. So I'll tell you just a bit about it first, and then we could go straight into making it. But basically, crimson wood is basically like the nether version of what wood is. So by the time you create your portal and you go there, of course, you're then going to have to you're gonna have to come across what's called a crimson forest. And when you find a crimson forest, what you then do is, of course, you are able to cut down the crimson log that you're gonna get from there, and then from there on, finally, you get to, of course, make your crimson wood. So crimson wood, it's not really the only log that you can find there, really, because there is something else that you can also find there. That is also called your warped as well, your warped log. So warped, they call it stems. So when you find that as well, you're able to come back and you're able to, of course, then be able to really be able to use it. And it's really cool because it's like a fancy type. It's a fancy type looking like wood. So it's always really cool experimenting in this game of Minecraft because it just provides you with so many things that you can do. And of course, you get to be the one to always like really decide what it is that you want to make with what you get. So basically, guys, what we're going to be doing now, of course, is here I've got myself normally what we do is we step outside the door and we get our trees, our wood. But remember, it's not something that you find here. It's something you find in the nether. So here's my crimson stem. They call it crimson stem, not crimson wood. So once you've acquired that, you then get your crimson planks. Now it acts pretty much the same way as crimson wood does. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, you get yourself a crafting table, just like you would when it's wood that you have. And then what you're going to be doing, of course, guys, if I can just create some space here. We'll get rid of this for now. What we're going to be doing is, of course, coming into our crafting table, and we're going to be making our sticks. So if we grab our wood, any is fine, but we'll use crimson for this video. We'll go 1, 2, we get ourselves sticks. Into our crafting table again, what we are going to be doing is if we place 1, 2, 3 like so, and then place our 2 here, 1, 2, we're going to get ourselves a wooden axe. Now what we're going to be doing, of course, guys, is finally, now that we've made an axe, we're going to get straight into actually making our crimson wood. So if I find, it should be the one in the middle. Oh. If I grab onto my crimson wood, right? So where is it? Oh, it's right here. Crimson stem, sorry, they normally call it crimson wood. It's because the name is stem, it kind of confuses me. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's what we're looking for exactly. So yep, they call it crimson hyphae here. So they don't call it crimson wood, crimson hyphae, but it's still along the lines of the same thing. Now what you do is you hover over to your wooden axe, you right click, and ladies and gentlemen, here it is, your stripped crimson wood or stripped crimson hyphae, whatever it is that you want to call it, and then it's pretty much done. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this episode of how to make a stripped crimson wood or stripped crimson hyphae. Hopefully it made more sense. I talked about where to get it. I talked about how it is. Like, for example, it's what it is exactly. It's like the nether's version of like wood, kind of. Basically where to get it as well, and so on. So hopefully you like this video. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and of course, most important, subscribe to first of all get notified when I post and stream more content like this, and second, because it gives me the strength and motivation I need to keep making more content like this for the fans. Have a nice one, everybody, and ciao.